Welcome. This is Judith Conrad of EugeneIntuitive.com, and I'm here with my friend Ann Corbin. So we are going to be talking about many topics today. So welcome, Ann.
Thank you so much, Judith. So
Yeah,
good to be here.
You bet.
Yeah.
So tell me a bit about yourself.
Okay, so where do I even start?
Right.
So I call myself a spiritual junkie.
Okay.
I believe in looking at many paths, many
Okay.
beliefs,
All right.
and finding the truth for myself, because I feel that the truth comes in many languages and it
Right.
comes in many forms. When I was a child, I told my mother that I did not want to attend synagogue any longer.
Oh.
And
That
when she said, why? I said, because God is in you, God is in me,
Uh-huh.
God is in the birds, and God's in the trees.
Right.
And I can go sit down on the grass next to my tree, and I'll be with God. I don't have to go to a building that a man made.
Wow.
And I think I was like 6 or 7, and I didn't realize till I was older that I was probably channeling. And so that began my relationship with, with God. And the interesting thing is, my mother didn't even want to name me Anne. She wanted to name me Carol. But through insistence of the family, Anne became my name, and Anne means filled with spirit and grace.
With an E.
So,
Anne with an E.
Anne with an E.
I love it.
You got to do it the right way, right?
If you're going to do it, you might as well do it. Interesting that my name Judith came from the Bible. My grandmother was super religious and insisted that I have a name that came from the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
So my parents decided on the word Judith. Of course, it got shortened to Judy,
Right.
For my relatives only. And otherwise, I just love the name Judith. It just resonates with me. and thinking about what it was in the Bible, I think Judith and sister would follow the grain. They were harvesting grain, or after they had harvest, then they would go and pick up the leftovers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I guess, am I doing that? I don't know.
Well, it's interesting because, Anna was the grandmother of Jesus, right? So
Right. Yeah.
that's my Hebrew name is Hannah. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to. We've already started, but I would also like to kind of circle back around and create some sacred space.
Absolutely.
So I have this little bell, which is calling attention to spirit, calling attention to God, or that's just a signal that we are in a sacred space. And I have pulled a card, the 3 of discs, and it is about finding the center of that pyramid. And once you have illuminated what it is you're here to do, and many of us are, and I'm sure you are too, Anne, that we are seeking why did we come here? So once we find it, we put it in that pyramid, and then the 3 wheels: body, mind, and spirit, or soul. So my body, I got to get in alignment with my purpose in my physical body. My mental, which is so important, but it sometimes is the trigger to take me down the rabbit hole.
Right.
And soul is that part of me that I think I came with full memory of every lifetime. So I'd like to just invite you to put yourself in a soul bubble. All around you, it's above you, below you, to the right of you, to the left of you, and all around you. And you are in the exact center of the soul bubble. And by doing that, you have full memory of every lifetime. If not every lifetime, at least the most important ones where the major lessons were done. So, Anne, could you elaborate a little bit about that? In your opinion, what does that mean to you, having full access?
Well, I think that a lot of it is
That's okay.
a lot of it is finding through my life.
Right.
As I'm going through my life and meeting people, coming across the people that open up doors for me, or that start the opening of the doors. So, in my getting the opportunity to experience, to meet beautiful people like you. I mean, you and I met a long time ago, originally in Mount Shasta.
Right.
Because of Reverend Dottie Boone.
Right.
And, I was taking metaphysical classes. How did I get led to that? I could have gone down a whole different path. And so what that does is it awakens me to many things that I have experienced in past lives. So some of the sacred trips and journeys that we've taken through the years, I have had some past life visions and experiences. I take what I learn that works for me and I discard the rest. But how did I learn that? It's like, so I really believe that that's what that pyramid is about, because the mind can be that mind chatter, that just the monkey mind, as they call it, right? It won't shut up,
Right. Give it a job.
Give it something better to do, would you please?
Right.
Yeah. So I think that in reality, it's a gift to know this. And one of the things that I learned, because I'm not necessarily into organized religion, but I learned spirit, mind, and body, or instead of Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, I learned spirit, mind, and body. And
spirit, mind, and body.
Right, exactly what you explained.
Exactly.
Right there in the car.
I know it.
That's been the teachings and the beliefs that I've been following throughout the years.
And one of the things that I'm finding is if I get an aha, such as you just shared, that I do this every day, repetition. Of course, that's how I learn my foreign languages, is you repeat the subject, and you do the verb, then you do the adjective and the adverb. So it just builds. And then the outside of this card, if you'll notice, it's like once that pyramid, those wheels start turning, your body, mind, and spirit or soul, then it blasts up, and look at the outside. It's like whatever was holding you back is just kaboom.
Blast that sucking stuff away.
Right. And so, this is how I read tarot cards. It's just, I look at the symbols and I think, how does that relate to me, or how does it relate to a client, And so how does this relate to you? You've already discussed that.
Yeah.
I love
definitely. It. And like you said, it takes everything that you are trying to release, and it removes it from you. So that's awesome.
It is, absolutely.
And then it's your choice if you take it back or not. But
right. And
we don't necessarily want to do that.
You realize how many people, once they've cleared it, they feel uncomfortable, so they have to go back and pick it up again.
Sure enough.
It's kind of like, drug addicts. I mean, they get clean and clear, and then it's just too much. They have to go back and pick up that habit again.
Yeah, it's a real lifelong journey to learn how to let go forward, not allow all these things to stay with you, and not to go back. And I've been going through a health journey, and in that health journey, I every morning I do a gratitude prayer. It's a gratitude meditation, actually. It's one that I listen to, but it's good. To put that gratitude in, because to me, I believe that gratitude was the healer.
Yes.
In a lot of ways. To be in that habit, and I still fall back to some of my older habits and forget about things and get distracted and do,
Oh, you're the only one.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for letting me know that. Video games, that
You're right. You're the only one. Yeah. And I'm sure all of you out there can relate to that. And I always like to include the people who are watching this video, this podcast, and you feel free. I wish I could have the instant, they could answer or say something, but you can always text me or email me at judith@eugeneintuitive.com. And maybe some of you out there would like to be part of this podcast. I just asked Ann last week. I said, "Would you be interested in doing something like this? What are we going to talk about?" Well,
what are we going to talk about?
yeah, we have so many things we can talk about, and also we were discussing, your health, and it's not a problem. It's just it's a lesson. You're dealing with it, and tell me a little bit about the path.
Wow. I mean, the way I was led was pretty interesting because I had to be, I had to get really pushy, and I'm not a pushy person usually.
Okay.
I had to, because I was having symptoms and I just didn't know what was going on with me, and I had to push really hard till a doctor would see me.
Okay.
And then when it was diagnosed, I was hesitant to tell a lot of people.
Right.
Because when you tell somebody, hey, I've got this condition, or I'm dealing with this, what happens is they go, oh, well, when my mother had that, or
oh yeah,
or when you get this medication, you're going to feel, or oh, that's awful, or what, how long do you have to live? And those were the things that I didn't want to hear.
Right.
What I wanted to hear was, you're surrounded by spirit, you're surrounded by love. Mm-hmm. So I started off asking people, just give me loving prayers.
Absolutely.
And then as time went along, I did become more open about it with a lot of people. Mm-hmm. But there were specific people I let know. And as I said, every day I start with the gratitude meditation. Even last night, even though I'm in remission, and and
yay,
I've been being treated since January, really.
Okay.
So it's been it's in comparison to others, which we don't do comparison stories, but
right.
It was a very short journey. But I was very, very grateful for the fact that, I have not seen, I haven't really seen any negative remarks. It's all been people, wanting the best for me,
right.
supporting me in that, keeping me in that energy, keeping me from, and on the days that I was feeling down, being there for me, saying, it's okay, we all have days when we're down.
Right.
And supporting me in that. And to me, it was a miracle. I knew that this was not my death sentence. I knew it from the very beginning. I could feel it. I could feel from spirit. I could
right.
feel from everything
mm-hmm.
that this was not, it's a lesson for me. There's many things to let go of. Just the other day, I got hit with something that hit me in the gut, and I went, oh, I thought I was through that lesson.
You're right.
I think that I need to work on this one a little bit more, and realizing that's where it centered, was in the gut area,
and
feminine area, and so this is where I recognized that this was part of what thought processes, angers that came through because of the situation that it was about,
mm-hmm.
that I thought I had let go of. And when I got contacted and kind of hit in the face with it,
mm-hmm.
I actually went, whoa. I mean, it hit me right there, and I realized universe or creator or God or whatever you would like to call it, Sam, mother, father, is giving me messages
mm-hmm.
of, this is where this stuff comes from, and these are the things that we want to look at. And we're not fighting, we are surrendering to the love and allowing creator to hold us.
Right. And you're more conscious to be fully aware of your surroundings. Yes. And it's like my hearing. I'm letting my hearing be so in tune that I can hear whatever is between the lines that you're speaking. And you have that gift also, all of you who are watching this, and also to be able to see, what do I see when you walk through the door, the energy that you have.
Yes.
And what do you feel in that gut feeling? Because I'm clairsentient primarily, but I can, you too, I know, but we have these other skills too, clairvoyant, to be able to see, clairaudient, to be able to hear, mm-hmm. and then the ultimate is claircognizant, is just knowing. And how many of you out there don't just know? You do know. I mean, when you got hit in the gut with that there was something else. It's like that onion peel. Another layer. Here we go, which is good. Excuse me. Now, one of the things that you had mentioned, a couple of names that you use for God.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, different religion. You have Muhammad, you have Buddha, you have Krishna, and who else can any...
Well, some people, Moses.
Moses?
I mean, to me, a creator.
Creator.
And Mother, Father. Mother, Father, God, to me
Right.
is very centralized. Oh my gosh, there's so many.
I know it.
Joe Smith, no.
Hey, right.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah, and also J.J. Hurtak wrote a book, he and his wife, about,
Oh, yeah.
I think it was 1,000 names for God.
Yeah, I think I have. Yeah, I have a set of cards that's like 72 names for God that are like all in Hebrew.
Very good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's. I have always called it like when I open a prayer, I often say, "Infinite, Almighty, Golden White Light."
Okay.
Wrap me in your loving arms. Let me feel your energy and your love, and that works.
Yeah.
You feel it right away. But the very first time that I had to write a prayer because I am a reverend, when I had to write a prayer for the first time, that's the statement that came through: "Infinite, Almighty, Golden White Light."
Okay.
I
love it, love it, love it. And whatever words you use, that you put together, if it has a meaning for you, then it's yours.
Right.
But
Right.
sometimes when we're given, well, like in organized religion, we're given dogma and rules and regulation of what we must or must not do. Let me break those rules.
Are you a rebel too?
Yes, I am.
I am as well.
Okay, and I want to let you know that I know your birthday's coming up, and your birthday is 9/9.
That's right.
And that adds up to an 8. So the whole world is like 2024 adds up to an 8.
Uh-huh.
My birthday adds up to an 8. So this whole year I have been in an 8. So here's the card. It's the number 8, which is the justice card.
Oh.
Former justice. This one is called adjustment. And of course,
I like that.
my deck is a lot different.
Yes.
And this is a Crowley deck, by the way. And the figure in the middle, and it's a Libra, balance, justice. She has her sword of truth, and she has that in the ground, and she's on tiptoes. She's balancing on her truth. So during this year, you're going to be really looking at your truth in a deeper way, because this last year you have emerged, and now you have a deeper understanding. And so the alpha, the symbol for alpha, and the symbol for omega in the scales, alpha means beginning and completing. So during this year, I feel you will be starting something new. Hopefully you'll be starting your spiritual practice and bringing in clients.
That sounds good.
And you'll bring that to fruition, and it will be very successful.
Yep.
So in balancing inside of the diamond,
it's beautiful.
Diamond clarity. Outside is kind of fuzzy, but inside, see, when you are in your truth of who you really are, and you're clear. Recently, I have decided, I'm the angst. I'm not going to strive for this. I'm not going to strive for that.
Right.
I have goals, sure, but it's not like it's all consuming. I'm more interested in being content and happy.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah. I don't know if any of you have ever taken a life path kind of class.
Right.
But I took one, and this is many years ago. I took a life path class with Dottie Boone, as I spoke about.
Right.
Previously.
Hi, Dottie.
Hi, Dottie. And everybody was, she had channeled for each person in the class what their life path was. And, she put it on a piece of paper. She handed it to each of us individually. And she said, okay, we're all going to look at this, and we're going to, share if you want to. So someone said, oh, I'm supposed to be a part of healing AIDS. And somebody said, oh, I'm supposed to help bring peace to the world. And I opened mine up, and I said, and it says, your path is to be happy. And I'm going, be happy? What the heck is that? to show you the difference.
Yes.
To show you the difference of the mindset that I was in then,
Right.
like 25 or so years ago,
Right.
to today, where I, for fun, joined a meetup of a woman who does angel channeling.
Oh, good.
And she was the first person. I was the first person she wanted to speak to, and she said, "You have a great relationship with God."
Right.
And she went on and she said, the main thing here is for you to be happy. And I just went, okay, I guess that is my lifestyle. But it's a whole different feeling now. It's like, yay, I get to be happy.
Right, because then it's like you let go of the stress and striving, and you can just lean back and say, I'm not going to let that push my buttons.
Right.
It's okay that I didn't get this or I didn't go there, etc. I can just be here. And it's about, again, being available with all my senses. Like, woo, it's just like a lightning bolt. I'm available when Spirit, God, Goddess,
whatever you want to call it.
Whatever you want to call it. And I have, one of my questions was going to be, where is God? And I say, inside of me. And in fact, I call it my indwelling within. Creator, because God is inside and creating for me. 1 second. My indwelling creator God. That feels so good.
Yeah.
Because when I know that I have full access to God, whoa, isn't that good?
It's in you, it's in me, it's in the birds, it's in the trees. I still believe that.
Okay. Well, any last comment that you'd like to make before?
Last comment before
we close our podcast.
Okay. Yeah, I have a question for you.
Okay.
As far as, how did you find the deck that you use? Because I know I have my favorite deck, and and why I chose it.
Right.
What brought you to this type of cards, and how does that intuition and that love and the card message bring forward to you? Because the Crowley doesn't have a very good reputation, but it doesn't mean you have to believe it.
Right.
So, but I'm just curious about what brought you to that, and now you have a connection with it.
I certainly do. I started out with the Morgan Greer, and I called it Down and Dirty because it was very simple. But this one, the symbols are so rich, and when I had a radio program in San Francisco, I would, pull a card when someone would call in, and I would have to cut to the chase. And so the tarot cards, helped me to really focus in and just look at the card, and then I would close my eyes and I would look, and my hand went right to the sword. She's holding on to the sword. So the message is, for whoever would think about that, is that you are hanging on to your truth. I thought, and then I would say that on the radio, and then it just, from that point on, then I started doing the astrology with it. I started doing channeling with it, and it just evolved.
It just fits with you, yeah.
Right. This deck.
I don't picture Judith without her cards.
I know, and I love you doing.
I love that.
I know, and some people, when they said, I don't want you to use the cards when I come in. I said, well, let's rebook somebody else.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think
this was wonderful.
Thank you.
And I hope that we could. There's still a lot of things we could talk about, but we could be here all day long. So maybe we do this again sometime.
Absolutely. Okay, so I'm going to surround this podcast with love and light, and each and every time you listen to this, you're going to hear more and more. Have a great day.